Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go.
Hi everyone. Today's Thursday, November the 6th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. Charts by TrendSpider and Gamma Flows by Menther Q. This morning we take a look at the the E-mini S&P 500. Yesterday I mentioned that even though the bears came in, what we were sitting at was a pretty solid floor of support, and we had held that in the overnight. And true to form, it really was an upside day. Now, in hindsight, things that keep us on track are what's the slope of the VWAP? What's the slope of momentum? And those things let us know that we are bullish. Pullbacks or buy zones. You can see the wicks, right? They were trying to sell it off, and buyers came in all the way, moved us right up into the 0 DTE call wall, and that is now something we have to watch again. The call wall has not changed. It is still 68.50. The put support has not changed for the big area, that's 6,700. The 0 DTE put wall, that looks like it's moved up. I can't quite remember, but what we are doing is holding above the put wall. So, from the framework today, the floor of support looks like 6,800. Right? I think that was where the put wall was yesterday, somewhere around that zone. So it's moved up dramatically. And remember, these inflows, this deep dip where we could see underlying buying, we know that's very likely institutional flow because they do ramp up into the end of the year. So every deep dip is going to get bought. Now, none of these dips are particularly deep, but you can see that they are being bought. Range on the top end, the gamma flow, 68.50. If we breach that level, the next rotation is going to be this inventory accumulation here between 68.70 and 6,900, right? So, I mean, literally, we're moving through 200 ES points at a clip. It's just very volatile intraday. Remember, what we want to stare down, here's the bottoming formation, right? We've got a little bit of negative drift, and we are not above the VWAP per se. We're moving above and below it, and that VWAP is sideways. That means we're likely to be range bound until we clear that VWAP and we move in the direction of the flow. Let's take a look at the NQ. All right, big call wall up here, 27,500. Put support well below at 24,000. Those have not moved. They did not move for the ES either. As we take a look at price action, we notice the same sort of thing, holding a floor and then taking flight. Man, this is insane. The 0 DTE call wall is below the 0 DTE put wall. It's normally supposed to be the other way around. So you can tell they're caught off sides, right? The traders are caught off sides. So no matter what, somebody's going to lose today if they don't shift these lines, meaning they need price action to be below this area, and they want put action for price to be above this area, right? So in between this zone, the call walls are going to lose and the put walls are going to lose. And so they've got themselves off sides. This will shift tomorrow, hopefully. So what does that tell us, though? It tells us the floor of support is trying to be lifted. This is clearly sideways formation. The base of support is, I think it's still this box, 25,240. We are seeing 23,380 as the deep floor if it comes in, but it's very, very sideways. Momentum is mixed, so we are in a range. This rotation event looks like that. Oh, for goodness sakes. So the floor of our support will move down from 25,700 to 25,625. That's going to be a bounce zone. And then moving up above 25,750, we'll get ourselves to 25,900. That's what we're staring down. Could this be an inverted head and shoulders pattern? Maybe. I don't really measure those. But if we break above 25,875, the next flow event is going to be 26,000 even. There we go. Yes. And then we've got all this inventory being built all around here. Big messy patches, dips or buys, unless we lose 25,625. Then we've got negative flows into the lower areas. Let's see. I imagine Bitcoin's corrected. Well, it's moving just like the market today. It moved just like the market yesterday, right? Flows moving back to the upside. So here's the lift. We expect Bitcoin to run with the market flow if traders continue to buy. And so the next line in the sand, 105,000, and then 108,000. You see all these inventory boxes really keeping us caught, I would say, right? Between 102, 700 and 106, right? If it double bottoms, they're going to buy it. No doubt about it. They should buy that. All right. Let's take a look at oil. It's pretty important. Oil faded yesterday and came right into the put wall. That put wall, again, 59. Oh, that put wall was raised. It was 59. And the call wall remains the same at 61. It is my supposition that oil is giving us a floor, right? So this area, anywhere near that put wall, should be a pretty nice bounce zone. I got to get out of that. I got to start saying could. You can see this area they are really trying to defend, and they put in a lot of inventory right here. And so suspicions are that the bounces into 60 could easily take us right back up to the gamma wall at 61, which we tested. Take a look at this. Intraday volatility is just extraordinary right now. Top of the call wall to the bottom of the put wall for the 0 DTE in one day. It's just incredible. If people aren't prepared for that, they really are having a rough time. All right, so dips or buys, resistance at 61. Let's take a look at gold. Gold also showing the recovery. Traders out of this great, big, wide, noisy area here between the put wall and the 0 DTE put walls. They're both within 10 points of each other. 3,944 or 45, 3,945 for the 0 DTE put wall. Broad put support 3,950. The 0 DTE call wall is 4,000. It's also the big call wall, and they broke it overnight. Savage move all the way up into our region near 4,021. We'll raise that line to the wick here at 4,027. If we breach that zone, we could have ourselves another wick and then a pullback. I still expect us to stay caught in this round area. But Martin Armstrong did a really, his flows from Socrates just showed us that the end of October would give gold its cycle for rotation, and I think it still occurs. So I am suspecting that the bounces, even all the way up to 40.50, will rotate back down. So what am I looking for? Pullbacks or buy zones. The point of control is 4,015. That's where they're going to try and buy. I expect that they're going to try and get under the call wall today, right? But what we have to see is a break of that point of control. Look at all the inventory here. The box here really suggests that the flows into 4,012 or so are going to try and give us this kind of noise. It's going to be another wiki day here in gold, so watch for that. The deep dips are going to be buys. Ideal buy zone going to be around 4,000. If it bounces and fails to hold 4,020, we'll rotate right back down and come into this noisy patch. We could stay here for several weeks, right? Several weeks. Okay, let's finally take a look at SPY. Doing the same thing as the broad market, currently just printing a couple of candles. They only really started printing candles 2 hours ago. And so we see sideways pressure coming into the close of the day. This deep dip, I think, is the Supreme Court stuff that hit the wires that said the tariffs are not going to hold. I don't think that's going to be good for the market at all, but just my gut. Floor, frontline support, 676, all the way to 682. We hit 680 last trading day, and we topped out and then rotated at that 3 o'clock news down into this floor of congestion. If we lose 675, more downside pressure into 674 and then 672 again. A little bit sideways here in my mind. Bigger picture, still showing a flag pattern, right? This is still a flag. And so breaking that flag is going to be clearly the thing to do if we're headed to the north. That's going to be the break of 680, and then we'll walk through this big area of inventory accumulation up into the call wall at 685. The put wall, put support, and the 0 DTE are both sitting at 669. The call wall is sitting at 700, the big call wall, and the 0 DTE call wall sits at 685. I'm gonna suggest that that's probably what they want to do. Buyers want to recover. This line at 680 is going to be the number to watch. Heading back to the E-mini S&P for a quick sec. If we do that same sort of flag, we're looking at the breach of 6850. 6860 is the 0 DTE call wall. So 6850 to 6860, that's going to be something that'll break the flag. If it breaks the flag and then returns, you know, we're still in the flag pattern trending to the downside. I know many of us trade the Qs, so let's take a look at that once more. This one looks like it may have broken the flag, but it is a wider formation. Oh no, not so bad. It did break the flag over here at the top end, and it broke the flag above and below, so you're going to have to watch for that. It's very, very sticky in terms of whether it can hold or not, but you do know breaking out of the flag should bring you a wick upside, and breaking down out of the flag should give you a wick, could give you a wick to the downside. All right, everyone, take care. I'll be spotty on the streams today, but I'll check in with you for sure.